Hey beautiful people, today we're getting into all this information about Knutsford Express. What do you need? How long does it take? All those things. On this channel, I've already done a video about how to ship via the post office. So today I want to talk to you about how to ship with Knutsford Express. The first things first, to send a package through Knutsford Express is about $700. If it goes over, I believe, £10, then you have to spend over $700. First, you want to locate the Knutsford Express that's in your parish. In Kingston, there are two Knutsford Express offices. There's one on the boulevard where Mishi Shopping Center used to be, which is currently known as Sovereign on the Boulevard. That one is actually super empty most of the time, and that's because most people don't know about it. The New Kingston branch, however, that one tends to be pretty full because most people know about the New Kingston branch. So if you're living in Kingston and you want to go to a branch that has less people, then you definitely want to go to the one that's on the boulevard. You can also request to have your packages sent to you at the boulevard location. That's if you want to pick up something from Knutsford Express. In St. Anne, there are two branches. There's one in Draxhall and there's also one in Ocherius Town. There is a Knutsford Express in Spanish Town. There are two Knutsford Expresses in Montego Bay, one at Pier 1 and one at the airport. There are Knutsford Expresses all over Jamaica. All you have to do is just type in Knutsford Express and just find out all their locations. There's a Knutsford Express in every parish. And like I said, the fee to send through Knutsford Express is $700. So there are two ways that you can send a package. When you go to Knutsford Express, you can send as a COD or you can pay for it on the spot. COD means cash on delivery. So that means you as a sender can send a package off through Knutsford Express and the person who is collecting that package is the one who will pay. Or you could pay for it before it goes to them, so that way they don't have to pay when they get it. So that's something that's going to be asked of you when you go to drop off a package. Are you going to be paying or is the receiver going to be paying? Other information that they need is the receiver's name. They need the receiver's phone number, but if you don't have a phone number for the receiver, then you can use your phone number. They will also ask for the destination, which is why it's important to know what Knutsford Express or where the Knutsford Express is located in the area that you'll be sending to. There's some items that you can't send through Knutsford Express. For example, they advise that you don't send jewelry through Knutsford Express. They advise that you don't send gadgets like phones and those kind of stuff through Knutsford Express, and also perishable items, things that can spill, things that are of really high value. It's recommended to not send those things through Knutsford Express. You can send something as small as an envelope with a document through Knutsford Express. You can send something as big as a baby prom or a baby crib or a whole lawnmower through Knutsford Express. Based on what I know, you will just have to pay for how much it weighs. In order to send off a package, you don't need an ID, you don't need a license, you don't need a certification or nothing like that. You can be a regular old Joe from off the street and send something to somebody on Knutsford Express. However, the person who is picking up would need to have their ID and you have to give the correct name for that person. I mean, sometimes they might spell the name wrong, but as long as it's close enough to what's on their ID, they can still pick up the package. So you want to tell your customer to make sure that they have their ID to pick up their package, and if they have to pay for it, tell them they need to bring $700 or whatever amount it's going to cost. Another thing that's very important to note is that Knutsford Express, after 1 week, they start to charge a storage fee. So if you send off a package to someone and they let it sit there for 2 weeks, after week 1, every day that passes by, there's going to be $100 added. So if they take 2 weeks to go pick up a package, they're probably going to have to pay an extra $700 because after that 1 week, the storage starts to add up, and if it's 7 days that make a week, that's $700 extra. So a package that could have easily costed $700 becomes $1,400. So you want to tell your customer that so that they will keep that in mind, because I remember the first time I ever received a package through Knutsford Express, I took forever to go pick it up because I thought, I I don't need to rush to go pick it up, only to go pick it up and there was a huge storage fee on the package. If I knew that there was a storage fee, I would have went and picked it up immediately, but at the same time, maybe they were expecting me to know that. But you can't really expect people to know anything. It's better to just give them all the information and allow them to make a calculated decision, period. When you're sending off a package, you want to make sure that whoever you're sending it to knows that there's going to be a storage fee if they take too long to pick up the package. If you are going to be receiving a package, you want to pick up that package as soon as possible to avoid any storage fees. Okay? That's where Knutsford Express's courier service is concerned. However, if you want to travel around Jamaica in comfort and style, you can also utilize Knutsford Express. I actually love traveling via Knutsford Express. It kind of feels like an airport experience for me. So if you want to travel with Knutsford Express, I recommend calling and making a reservation. I have made the mistake twice of going to Knutsford Express and expecting that I could just get on a bus, but that was so not the case. Unfortunately, both times when I attempted that were really full days and both buses were full. So if you want to secure a space on a Knutsford Express bus, it doesn't matter where you're traveling from, whether it's from Kingston or from St. Anne or from Montego Bay or St. Elizabeth, I recommend that you call in their customer care and book a seat on the bus that you want to go on. So you want to tell them where you're going from, where you want to go to, and tell them whether or not it's an adult, 2 adults, 5 adults, 2 adults and a child. They're gonna ask you those details. If you pay early, then I believe it's $2,250 to book your seat early. So I believe that's something you can do by paying online or by going into the office and actually paying in cash. But if you can't make it, then you might just have to book the seat without paying. That's something you can do. You can book a spot on the bus without paying for it. You would pay when you get there. The only thing is that you wouldn't get the early rates. I'm gonna put the rates up on the screen right here based on the different locations. But me traveling from Kingston to St. Anne or St. Anne to Kingston, it's always been $2,250 for an early bird ticket or early payment. But then if you pay on the day that you're going to take the bus, then it's about $2,550. So of course, if you want to take a bus to go where you're gonna go and then take another bus coming back in the afternoon or the next day or whatever, then you would book that as a round trip, or you can book a one-way, just going one direction and not coming back. So that's why I always like to say it feels like a whole flight experience and it feels like a nice travel experience. When you actually get to Knutsford Express, you're going to check in, you're going to sit and wait for the bus to be ready. They usually recommend that you get there at least 45 minutes earlier. I recommend going as early as possible, so that way if you have any traffic on the road, you can have a little extra time to beat that traffic. And then that way, if there's a really long line, you can have a little extra time to get through that line and still get on the bus on time. If you want to eat something before you actually board the bus, you can do that. So I recommend going early if you can. But if you can't make it early enough, it's not the end of the world. Okay, just make sure that you at least get there 5 to 10 minutes before the bus actually leaves. But once you get there, they're actually going to do the same thing like what they do on or in airports. They're going to call out and they're going to say passengers boarding XYZ bus can go to gate XYZ and you can board the bus. If you have bags with you, they're going to give you a tag that you can write up and they're going to put it into the little storage unit that's on the bus, and then you can go inside, pick your seat. Another reason why it's good to go early is so that you can pick the seat that you want. If you go late, you have to just take the what left seat then, and yeah, sometimes the what left seat then mean you have to sit at the very front, or you have to sit somewhere where you don't want to sit because people just take the seats that they want. And yeah, So it's better to just go early for that very reason. Once you get on the bus and the bus is about to depart, the bus driver is gonna get on a microphone and he's gonna say, welcome to Knutsford Express, we are on board for destination XYZ, and they will tell you about the Wi-Fi and the password. I think Wi-Fi on the bus is usually free, but honestly it's better to just have your own Wi-Fi or data, because I mean, imagine how many people being on that bus all trying to connect to the internet. It gets chaotic, and sometimes the internet really doesn't work very well, so it's better to just have data. And if you really can't have data, then you can try to hook up to their Wi-Fi. Another thing with me though, I'm really skeptical about public Wi-Fi because, you know, scammers, hackers, yeah, unless you have a VPN. As they will also tell you that there is a bathroom on the bus. That's something that I really like. I hardly ever use the bathroom. I think I've probably used the Knutsford Express bathroom probably once in my entire life. And oh, this is another thing, they actually give you a small bottle of water whenever you get on a flight. Whenever you check in, they give you a small bottle of water that's complimentary, and there's a high possibility that whatever Knutsford Express you're boarding on, there's going to be a cafe or a little snack shop nearby. So if you want to get something to eat, you can do that before you actually board the bus. You can also usually find a bus schedule on the Knutsford Express website. They do have a website, so you can find the bus schedule, or you could just call in and find out when buses are going to be leaving. Let's say you want to leave tomorrow morning to go somewhere, you can call in Knutsford Express and say, hey, like, what time do you have your buses for? And then you just book a seat on that bus. It's better to book a seat than to wait and go on the day and expect there to be a seat. Your goose are gonna cook if you do that, okay? Especially if it's something that's really important and that's the only mode of transportation that you have. So better to be safe than sorry, and to just book a seat on a bus ahead of time, okay? Especially on busy weekends like holiday weekends, or on Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays. Yeah, don't take no chances. Take it from me, I've learned my lesson twice. Anyway, I hope this video has been super helpful for you, and if you are going to be utilizing Knutsford Express for the first time or the second time or the third time, I hope that this information will make it much smoother for you. If you have any subsequent questions, you can leave them in the comment box down below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel for more helpful tips like this if you're living in Jamaica, moving to Jamaica, or you're going to be visiting Jamaica. I mean, I mostly do sewing content, but I feel like I need to blend in a little bit more of these stuff, especially for people who have small businesses. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button, turn on your notifications so that whenever I post a video, you will be notified. Also, if you want to see more of my face and hear me talk about things that have nothing to do with business, just personal things and like insights, then subscribe to my personal YouTube channel called Gabby Shade. I'm gonna leave you a link to here and in the description box down below so that you can subscribe and like my videos and watch my videos. Anyway, I will see you in the next one. Bye.